For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated. More often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
Welcome to the ET Stand, the Cronulla Sharks fan podcast that lets it talking to the football. And we are the only podcast that knows how to roll the ball between our legs and place our foot on it and try to make an attempt, don't we, Stephen?
I'd like to think so.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling better than you've ever felt before, Stephen?
No, I'm not. I'm a hard taskmaster, I think.
You're not quite Nico Hines post Raiders full time. As the Sharks defeat the Raiders 40 points to 10 in a pretty one-sided affair after about the 12th minute, saw the Sharks score tries through a whole bunch of players, including Nico Hines, Stone Street, Fanua Blake Trindle, Jesse Ramian, Tuku Hautapu, who had a particularly good game, I thought, Stephen, Mr. Franko, and then Chris Vale also got a try at the end. I got to confess, had a micro sleep during that one and missed that one, so hopefully you can talk me through that one. And then convergence to Hines, a bunch to Trindle and Daniel Atkinson. I think the big talking point coming out of the match is going to be the rolling the ball. If you are new to the channel, we are live on YouTube every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. and after full time of every single Sharks match, where we do an episode in a show called The Debrief. If you've not subscribed to the channel and you're new to us, please do hit the subscribe button. Give us a like as well, as it just tells all the Sharks fans that we're doing a good job. And then if you're listening on delay on audio only, we're available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Pods, a whole bunch of other ones that have, if it's anyone that's not worthy of mention. And we'll be live Tuesday night from the Sharks Hall of Fame. We've got a special episode landing tomorrow. We're going to Vegas. We've got lots of stuff happening. Franko, let's chat about the match. Rolling of the ball, penalties. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was funny because obviously there was a little bit of hoopla made before the trial round last week, and we were pretty good. We were pretty disciplined. It was almost a non-event. There was one or two, I think, across the two teams, but ultimately it was pretty much a play-on sort of scenario. I think the Warriors might have been maybe a little bit more guilty of it than us, but we were pretty well disciplined, and yep, good, no worries. We're fine in this aspect. But yeah, tonight I think bit of the trying to get the speed of the play the ball up, it just sort of fell back into our old habits, and it was pretty ugly. But that's what trials are for, I guess.
Get your comments in. What were your thoughts on the roll the ball penalties? Think it's harsh, not good idea on the NRL doing this? What do we think? My take on it is, my understanding of what I can think is the NRL's doing this because it will slow the ball down, because players won't be able to just roll the ball between their legs. So it will take a deliberate act to roll the ball. Is that going to have a positive impact on the game, Franko?
So there's two things here. Obviously, with the 6 again restarts and whatnot, the game has sped up quite significantly. There have been a few teams, Panthers being one of the main culprits, who have, through just rolling the ball, been able to speed it up again. And that's probably a little bit too fast for what the teams, what the competition wants it to be. So planting the ball, making an attempt with your foot and rolling it back is to try and slow it down. And if it works, it means that the NRL don't have to look at maybe tweaking the rules again as far as 6 agains and whatnot. This is a way of trying to get the game a little bit under control. The thing that will be interesting, though, is I'm okay with it, to answer your earlier question. I think it's fine because it is part of the rules. It's always been part of the rules. It just hasn't been policed correctly. The problem is that it is now going to be genuine attempt. Genuine attempt is a little bit in the eye of the beholder. So we're going to need to make sure that whichever ref is refereeing the game, that they are consistent for every play of the ball. And there's already quite a lot that the refs need to keep an eye on. So I think it's going to be one of those scenarios where it could backfire as the season goes on, when other things sort of take priority over how a ball is played. Not to mention, though, very importantly, this is now something the video ref can review on in the act of scoring a try. So used to be they couldn't look at anything during the play of the ball. It was all post play of the ball. Now the video ref can look at stuff happening in the play of the ball leading up to a try. So this could be something
Means
that
they can go back to some weird stuff.
it does. It means that there could be a whole bunch of little weird indiscretions that occur, like the person not playing the ball correctly, that we have seen in the past. Some players get away with a try being awarded. So that'll be.
Speaking of moments where you can go back to the incident that was earlier on, there was the disallowed try or the captain's challenge that the Sharks placed. When I think it was, I can't remember who was this. It was Kale Iro was adjudged to have knocked the ball on, but then was shown really not to in the commentary. And then the Sharks score a try. And so you're going to have these weird moments where you can go back. How far can you go back as a constant issue? How did you see that one, Franko?
Oh, I think that was, we haven't seen anything crazy along those lines come up too often, but whenever we do, there's always that hesitancy for the bunker to award a try, and I think they were certainly looking for a reason to disallow it. Probably wouldn't get raked over the coals by the refereeing body or the Sunday papers by doing what they did, so that's a safe call. I kind of thought it was a try, but you know what? I think that they are probably in their right to say that there was insufficient evidence to see whether or not Iro touched the ball. There was one angle that kind of looked like it might have brushed his hand after it bounced off the Raiders player. So I'm happy for that. If that was a regular season game, probably wouldn't have upset me too much either. But I do think it would have been nice to see it awarded as a try.
Well, it's always nice to see a Sharks try. Get your opinions into the comments, gang. Were the Sharks hardly done by that disallowed try? Let's go through the comments that we've got in this section. SJD is asking, well, when did the Bulldogs start playing their home games in Canberra? And I thought it was an interesting choice of away jerseys. I don't know why they're using their away jerseys for a home match, but that's what they did. Harley, good work. Yep, Charlie's come through saying Sharks have won the game. Thank you. Mazdad in the comments saying, Viva, let's go. Mazdad, of course, being the illustrious Chris Kelly, co-host of the ET Stand, who is on his way to Las Vegas with me and will be live from Resorts World trying to do some stuff with the Sharks. And then SJD agreeing with your comment there, Franko, that refs always over-police the play the balls in the trials. And then they kind of forget about it later. 2.0s then coming through in the comments saying that AFB looked phenomenal. The big human. What did you make of him, Franko?
I don't know if I agree with that. He certainly looked good. He looked
Santa,
strong.
Franko.
Yeah,
Come on.
I will. I think it's one of those things where I probably need to temper my expectations, because we've basically had a full season excited for this guy to come over and transform our team. And his first stint wasn't anything special. He looked a bit slow. He looked a bit lethargic in coming across in defense. I didn't think he was that great. But his second stint and that second half, geez, he was great. He was pushing people aside, and you take the try out of it. Like, that was a simple, nothing happened there. That was a couple of Raiders
the Raiders
players
just bombed that then. They were just hopeless.
Took themselves out. That was, ignore the try, but he was devastating. He was good. He almost made 100 meters. really, really punishing. So it was good stuff to see.
All right. Well, you're not getting much love here in the comments, Franco. Let's just hit through these. We got more comments about this. So we got SJD saying, well, if Talakai is the cheat code, then AFB is the game genie.
Geez, there's some young people out there that probably don't know what you're talking about, SJD.
What's the game genie, Franco?
Game Genie? That was the little bit of hardware that you could plug into your console, and it came with a little book full of cheat codes, and you could just hack all the games.
All right. Well,
Give yourself extra lives, do all that good stuff.
Fair enough. All right. Mazdad saying, get excited, Franco. AFB is a game changer. If he's as good as he's hyped up to be, Mazdad, then he will be a game changer. That is for sure. Frank Kilman's in the comments saying, apparently the Raiders don't hand out green jerseys until first grade. Well, that's an interesting take. Fair enough. Stuart Campbell saying, thought Vela got the ball down. Do you want to respond to that, Franco?
I thought he did. I thought he did lose control of the ball and then planted it. But last year we had a tweaking of the rule in terms of separation that I thought allowed for that kind of put down. And in that scenario, it's a try. But it's a trial match, so we're going to let it go. But yes, I believe that was a try. I thought he got it down. He should have passed the ball and not had to let it get to that stage. But yeah, I thought he got it down.
And then 2.0 slapping his hand against his head. Just in shock from you, Franco, just torn an AFB. Gigaplex in the comments. G'day, Gigaplex. AFB looked good for first game in black, white, and blue. That's definitely true. And then SJD, ignore that try. We're going to see AFB do the same thing all year. And then, yeah, Shawnee in the comments has said, how many tries did we leave out there? I think, by my count, goodness me, Stone Street absolutely bombed one. That was one. What were the other ones that we bombed? Franco, can you remember?
Stone Street dropped one. Dixon dropped one. Burns dropped
That's
one.
right. Dixon dropped one. Burns, yeah, you're right. Yep.
If we're saying that the Eero Captain's Challenge should have been a try, then that was one. The Vayela put down was another. So that's what, 5? So plenty.
Plenty indeed. Now, the Sharks sit atop the preseason ladder, Franco. Does that mean that the Jaden Beryl failure to pass the ball to Riley Bollard to kick the field goal now hurts even more?
No.
Or it still doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. We've played one more game than just about every other team. So ask the question at the end of the weekend.
All right, fair enough. What do we make of the Raiders opened the scoring with that outrageously exciting try to their 5'8", whose name escapes me. Nico Hines missed the tackle following up the kick chase, and then the kick chase out wide wasn't there. Is that a concern, Franco, or is that just switching off? What do you make of that one?
It was a bit ugly, wasn't it? Nico missed, Nikora missed, Ramian missed. I felt that Kafusi and Teague were slow in trying to cover in the back play, and Kafusi, fine, I guess, but Teague especially, he's normally, or at least historically, has had a bit of toe. He's a bit fast, and he looks like he's put on a bit of bulk. Looks like he's beefed up for this season, and I think he's lost a bit of speed. So we'll see if it's one of those scenarios where you beef up and then you play into your playing weight over a couple of rounds. But he looked a lot slower than previously, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that whole passage of play was a bit yuck. I don't think we take too much out of it, but it wasn't pretty.
Almost, it took them a little while to get going, but they were on top. It was just the roll of the ball penalties. 3 in the first, 11 minutes? I think that well, not penalties, they're handovers, aren't they?
Handovers, yeah. But I do think they are, as far as stats are concerned, considered penalties though.
Yeah.
But we were pretty clunky in that first 15, 20 minutes. We were a bit slow, a lot of sort of one out running. Yeah, ball handling not that great either. So yeah, we were a bit average to begin. Certainly warmed into that game.
A few more comments are coming through, and I just want to say, Franko, how good is it to see just some of the legend pals of the ET stand back? We've got SJD, Rob Valensky, Gigaplex, Stuart Campbell, Frank Kuhlman, 2.0, Harley. Like, these are just all, it's almost like these guys are just getting ready for the season themselves, just warming up their comments, aren't
they? They are. They're waiting for content so that they can either give us a pat on the back or tell us to do a better job.
Well, or they're waiting for you or I to say something that they just outrageously disagree with. All right, now, one thing we did see. Talakai playing in the middle of the field, Franko. What do we make of that? Is that finally your wish?
Yeah, playing lock. I mean, that's where I think he will provide a lot of value to the club as a lock, but he's ultimately a utility, right? So in the games where McInnes is fit and firing and not buggered, Talakai will go somewhere else. In the scenario where there's an injury, he'll go somewhere else. If a prop goes down, we'll go in the front row. So that's the beauty of the cheat code. But yeah, I think him going into lock is really good use of his skills, especially which, as we've seen, he's bulked up. He's not going out into the centers. He's got the ability to bend the line and get us some meters, but also has the silky hands to be a bit of a ball player as well in the middle of the field. So I really think that's a good spot for him when the position is available.
I would agree with that. Now, I'm going to do something right now, and I want to see if you can. Is this a new move that the Sharks are one of the Sharks' absolute favorite players? Whoa! Is this going to become a thing? From Ronaldo Mulatalo, the chop. Is the chop now a thing?
No. Someone's going to have to tell him to get that out of his game.
No?
No. So we obviously scored a try from him doing something similar, but we can't forget that dirty rule, the disruptor. That's going to get
your old
called.
friend.
That's going to get called. Someone's going to drop a ball, and it's going to be a penalty against us. And instead of having the ball with a man tackled in their 5, it's going to be clear and kick. And what are you doing, Ronaldo? So, I think that was Chevy Stewart. If he drops that, it's a penalty. Likewise in the try that Nico scores, I think if Mulatalo misses that knockback and Chevy Stewart drops that, again, it's a penalty, that disruptor rule. So it's a very fine line, high stakes play there. So I think he should maybe reel it in a little bit there.
Now, in the comments, give me a Y in the comments if you like the chop move, or give me an N if you think it's stupid. We should never, ever, ever see it again. Well, in the meantime, I thought Tuku Tapua looked really good, Franko. I
Very
think he
strong.
pressed his claim for a spot on the bench. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we were all kind of excited about what he was doing last year. Certainly ramped up into that cult status, though in saying that, there was the concern about how many minutes he could play. He pushed his minutes in reserve grade for Newtown, got them up pretty high towards the end of last season, and we saw in this game he was out there for a good stint, and got something like 80 odd meters, which is a nice showing. He was full of energy, scored a try, passionate. Yeah, I think he could be a smoky for that team. And we're forgetting the fact that Rudolph isn't there, but you bring Rudolph back. It's just between him and Rudolph gives more credence to not having Atkinson on the bench as that utility.
All right, well, let's go quickly. Just look at the starting props and forwards. So you've got to assume that AFB and Kafusi are going to be the starting props with McInnes at lock. So that really leaves you with the 4 bench spots, one of which will be Atkinson, one of which will be Talakai. So the 2 remaining spots are really between Hamlin Ueli, who also looked better, I thought, Franko. He looks leaner. He may have 1 or 2 errors that I noticed. So we've got Hamlin Ueli, Rudolph, Jesse Colhoun to come back, Tommy Hazelton, and Tuku Hautapua. That's a lot of players to go into 2 or 3 spots.
Yep. I think if Hamlin Ueli is fit, he's in.
He's agreed.
There's
He's
no
too
question.
good.
And then you've got 3 into 1 in that scenario. I think Atkinson's 18th man.
No, I think so. I think Atkinson might end up getting the Ronaldo chop. All right, well, there's a bit of support for me from Frank Kuhlman, and actually, no, Frank Kuhlman said no, thinking that the chop was stupid. But SJD says in the comments, I always knew Ronaldo was great at karate since he has a pretty good goal kick. All right, let's hit through some of these other comments. I think we're back up the top here. How high were we up here, Franco? I'll go from the bottom. Rob Valensky. G'day, Rob. Sit in the comments. I'm looking forward to seeing some Talakai delivering some Miller-esque balls at the line. That will be fun. I'm not sure if he's quite as good as the great Kevin Miller, but we'll see. Cecil's through in the comments saying, how many times did Brayley shoot out a dummy half tonight?
Brayley looked good.
I thought Brayley did look pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah, Brayley looked really good. He was. I mean, like I said, the first little stint we looked a bit clunky, a little bit slow, but Brayley was probably that spark that set us off to get improvement through the rest of that match. He was fast. He was pushing people into spots. Yeah, he was good. I really liked watching Brayley tonight.
Scott Latino, g'day, Lats, is in the comments saying, forget the McKenna statue of Liberty play, which is, of course, it's now about the Nico Harbour Bridge is where it's at. What do we see? 2 of them tonight? Is that right?
We did, yeah.
2.
2 and I think an attempted third maybe, but yeah. Which was interesting in this scenario because
they're not as good in attack anymore though since the Morris days, are they, Franco? They're just not.
Well, it's a bit different.
It is that.
But I think it's worth mentioning. This might be a good spot to throw it in there for those that either didn't get to see the game, didn't listen to the commentary, or were not aware that the field size was different. It was the reduced NFL size that will be used in Vegas, so that we could get a bit of practice on that size field, which means it was shorter and narrower. So getting space out wide is more difficult. There was one of those scenarios where Nico took a run and nearly slashed through the line. I reckon on a traditional size field with the defense less compressed, I think he gets through and scores in that scenario. But here, those Harbour Bridge passes theoretically should be higher risk in this smaller field, but they pretty much came off. So happy days.
SJD in the comments is blaming you 2.0 for that bomb try for no reason. He just looked up. He's you could see him kind of look at the ball and go, and then go, oh, here's where I'm going, and then just drop it, couldn't you? And if you give that one, Franco, or you've got a try per game, Stone Street in first grade.
Yeah, I mean, you don't like to see that, and he probably would be a bit dirty at himself. I think, yeah, he certainly was looking at the try line instead of where the ball was. And you know what? I'm probably going to chalk that down to a little bit of lack of concentration. There's not the same intensity in a trial match. At that stage, we were kind of all over the Raiders. The crowds are less. Yeah, I'll let it slide. But that sort of stuff, yeah, should be like shelling peas.
And we've got the comment from Stuart Campbell. G'day, Stewie. Pomeroy hands are back. Oh, please, no. Why, Stuart? I know I make the jokes about Pomeroy and the hands. You have to do that to us. Now we're thinking about the suplexes and then knocking the ball out of the David Simmons hands when he didn't even. Why, Stuart? Why would you do that to us? 2.0 has responded. I'll have a chat with him, SJD. And then SJD's saying, well, Trinder's kicking looked damn good. 40-20s are going to come in droves this year. I noticed a lot tonight. They were passing to the players and they were just overstepping that 40-meter line. I noticed that like 3 or 4 times. Did you notice that, Franco?
Yeah. I mean,
Why?
I don't know.
Is that
Give it a
innocuous
go.
observation of no consequence, you think?
No, none.
You mean, yes, that's a correct statement, not no.
Sure. Correct.
Fair enough. All right. What else did we make? Who had quiet games? I thought didn't see much from Ramian. Who else didn't do much?
Oh, I mean, yeah, Ramian's one of those players these days that doesn't seem to do a lot, but then you look at the stats and he's done a fair bit. So, I think he had 70 odd meters. Give him a bit of a pass there. He was pretty solid in defense. And scored a try in putting on pressure on the catcher after the Nico kick.
That's
so yeah, I don't think he was quiet. I think it was just when you have a 40-point game, there's a lot to look at. And so yeah, no, he was good, I thought. I feel that for me, the Stone Street, if we're going to call out problems with Stone Street, that's 2 weeks in a row now that someone's basically outleapt him and got the ball. And a guy as tall
need
as
that
him,
leaping coach, Franco.
Need that leaping coach.
Leaping coach. Luke Cavell, where are you?
I think in that scenario, he's pretty tall. You'd expect him to grab those and keep attackers at bay, but keep an eye on that one. See if that's something that other teams start to target.
His speed did save at Stone Street. There was a try that he saved by scrambling and getting back.
Yeah.
And that out-and-out speed is pretty useful. I noticed Gabriel a little bit more tonight. I thought he had a stronger showing for the limited minutes that he got. Who else? Yeah, what did you make of Gabriel?
Yeah, he's good. He got more time, I think, at least it seemed more time this week than last. Didn't get much chance either week to, well, I say that, it might eat my words. He should have passed to Stone Street last week, but I was going to say he didn't get a lot of chance to show off his pace. There was a lot of traffic around him this week. So yeah, no, he's good. He's bulky, solid. I think he will do well. You can't forget how young he is. So there's a lot to go before we sort of see him as regular first grader, especially with our team as settled as they are. But I think he'll be a sort of a scenario where once he makes it, he will be a regular first grader. I thought Dixon was very good 2 weeks in a row on the wing. A lot of energy, very committed.
He bombed a try, didn't he?
He did bomb a try, but you know what?
But they all bomb tries. So, he's just fitting in with the team and his teammates.
Exactly. He didn't want the others to feel bad. So, but no, he hit the ball up really hard. He was solid in defense. Basically, your archetypical Sharks winger that we want to see, and he's come through the system, starting with SG Ball, and he's sort of embodied that. And I think he's going to do well when given an opportunity.
One commentary I'll make is that Nico Hines coming off and also not taking the goal kicks. It's not nothing, which makes it something. So it may only be a 1 out of 10 concern, but it's still not what we want to see, Franco, is it?
Yeah, I'd like to think it's nothing, but the fact that he wasn't kicking as well gives you pause for concern. That said, you'd like to think that if he felt a tweak or if he felt something that was like, oh, you know what, I don't think I should be kicking, at that point they would have brought him off the field instead of letting him play for another 30 odd minutes. So I think it is probably nothing. It's probably all precaution. We've still got 3 weeks until Vegas. Should be fine. Should be ready to go. It's not like the past 2 seasons where it's been a calf or something serious. He seems all right.
Well, it's 2 weeks and a little bit till Vegas.
I'll take the little bit, thanks.
So the Sharks fly out to Vegas 8 days prior to the match, with 4 days in Los Angeles and then 4 days at Resorts World in Las Vegas. So they've got probably over another week between then and when they depart Australia. So I think it was a pretty good hit out. All right, Franco, anything else from you that you want us to touch on, or anything in your notes that you think I haven't prompted you on, or have I done an all right job now? Trial.
I thought Pollard looked good.
Kicked well.
Taj looked good. Yeah, kicked really well.
He can kick that boy.
He can. He's got a good boot on him. So yeah, so I think those two halves are looking well, developing well. Taj forward with the running game and Pollard with the big boot. I think they're a good combination. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Obviously spent time as a development player for us, and we'll have a go in the lower grades. So that was nice. Atkinson spent some time at fullback, obviously as part of that ability to be our utility player. We know he can play fullback, so there was nothing new or exciting there.
Should have put him on the wing.
Just good to see. Well, I'd rather him not on the wing. But yeah, so I think that was fine. I gave him a bit of a knock last week. Jaden Berrell, I thought
he was better.
Did really well tonight. Yeah,
he's better.
He was pretty solid, pretty commanding, knew where he wanted people to be, and had a bit of zip about him. So yeah, I thought he was well tonight. And then your man McInnes with his new haircut, he's trying to get his.
I didn't notice
going.
McInnes in the first stint of the match. I hardly noticed.
It's hard to. I was like, who's that guy? Oh, that's McInnes. Wow. Okay. So yeah, you might have to update the photo above your bed with his new haircut.
SJD showing Pollard some love in the comments, saying Pollard's try assist was a thing of beauty. Now for Sharks fans, there is a trivia night down at Sharks at Korea on Wednesday night. Unfortunately for a whole bunch of people, they don't know who I am, but they're in for a treat with a Boldo-inspired trivia evening. Franco, do you want to suggest a trivia question or a subject that I'll include in the Sharks trivia questions on an area? Maybe a question on Stapo?
Ooh.
Should I include a question on Stapo? What would you like?
Could you include it? Yeah, you could include a question on Stapo.
Right,
That'd be good.
All right, there's a hint. If any of you guys are getting down to Sharks trivia down at Korea on Wednesday night, there will be a question on the great Nathan Stapleton. Franco's. Is he your all-time favourite player?
No, but he's up there. He's up there.
I
do have a soft spot for him.
He's up there. My all-time favourite player, I think, is still Adam Ritson in terms of oddball choices. He was really good for us, for the Sharks, Adam Ritson. All right, there he is. 2.0's come through in the comments saying McInnes looking like he's out for a stroll. No cuts or bruises. It's unheard of. Yeah, you don't want him getting cuts and bruises in this match, do you?
Not really. No. I think he was still pretty involved with a lot of stuff. 33 tackles. Just a quick look here. Yeah, top tackle count. So you know what, he was in a lot of stuff, but yeah.
One thing we didn't touch on. Finally, we saw a good challenge from the Sharks. That was the right time to challenge, don't you think? Finally, we got one.
It was interesting because obviously it's a trial match, so it doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure that the ref accepted Iro's call for a challenge and not whoever the captain was at that point in time.
Well, there was no captain. There was the one later where they clearly should have challenged, where they called it out in the commentary, like, he did rake the ball. And you watch the replay and like, he didn't rake the ball. And Hazelton's standing there going, oh, should I challenge?
I think it was Tapua. And you know what? I reckon that's a 50-50 call. I don't know. I think we might have lost that challenge.
I guess we'll never know, will we? SJD in the comments is saying Matt Rogers is my fave, particularly the way he managed to sign my jersey whilst juggling a beer and a baby. That's a pretty impressive story. All right. Anything else from you, Franco, before we bid farewell to our dear friends on the YouTube channel?
Mate, footy is back. We've got the All-Stars on Saturday, which which has a couple of Sharks players playing. The Hiroti for the Maori team, and the
This is putting you to the test, isn't it?
Peru twins for the Indigenous side. So that'll be pretty exciting.
Remember the girls that are featuring?
There are some girls that are featuring as well.
Do you remember who they are?
I do not know.
I'm just trying to remember who they are.
You read it out on Tuesday, so it should be in your wheelhouse.
Weren't they? I'm just trying to think. Who was
Just
it?
trying to
Was
think as you click around on your screen.
As he clicks around to go and look it up.
Let me just think. Let me just think.
Quincy Dodd, Tiana Penatani. Come on, Franco. We should have gotten that.
Should have gotten that, shouldn't you?
How do we not get that? Bloody hopeless. Don't have us. All right, there'll be a question on Tanya Penatani as well at the Sharks trivia. There we go. We'll include that one too. All right. I think we'll leave it there, my dear friend Franco. So we'll see you Tuesday night down on the red carpet, I believe. We're going to work out what we're going to do for the Hall of Fame. We still haven't quite figured out what our plans are because difficult live events, but we will be live from some point on Tuesday night. And then we'll have a special episode this week. We'll have some special things before the Las Vegas match. And we might try and turn out a special episode in between now and then, won't we, Franco?
Yep. Should be
we'll
good.
sign off there and say, for me, David Boldo, and my dear friend, Stephen Franco Franklin, Cronulla Sharks have wound up their NRL 2025 trial matches with a 40-10 win over the Canberra Raiders as we head to Las Vegas to challenge the four-time premiers, the Penrith Panthers. Can the Sharks do it? Can we start the season on a win? I sure as hell hope so. We'll see you guys next time. See you on Tuesday night for the Hall of Fame. Up Cronulla.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the E.T. Stand Podcast.